Welcome in our man, Dave.
Hey, now, what's going on?
Well, a little inside the numbers here, Dave. I don't know if you heard we had some static earlier. Okay.
Oh, good.
Okay, right, yeah.
Some listeners were greeted with a good bit of static this morning.
Early.
Yeah, I got in on some of that. It was, it's good. It's rich quality static. I mean, if you're going to get static, that's the kind you want.
Nothing but the best.
You know, you got to crack a few eggs to make a nice cake.
You know what?
Can we blame Putin?
Can we?
I'm going to tell you this.
Yeah.
Anytime something like this happens, I do get a little nervous right now.
Oh, do you?
That they're jamming us?
Yeah. Jamming us, or there goes the power grid.
That's what one of our old friends always used to say. You know, they come after the radio stations first.
Who is most influential radio program?
That's right.
It does make me worry a little.
That's right. Here's the relationship Biggie and I have. First of all, we're like brothers. Okay, we're best friends.
And accountability buddies.
Accountability buddies. I almost called him this morning. My hand was shaking. I was having a Coke.
That's the sign of a good buddy.
You missed it, Dave. Did you hear that?
A regular Coke?
A Coke.
Full sugar.
Full on.
Where'd you come across that?
Well, we have it in our fridge for guests.
Back in the back.
In the back. And
Behind the baking soda.
we were...
That's supposed to, take the smells out. It really doesn't.
Thank you.
That is one of the best cons in
ever.
marketing.
Really?
Really? I use it.
I do too.
Put it in your fridge.
I put it in there.
Still stinks.
They even make special baking soda that has little vents on it.
That's
I
right.
do it.
I buy it.
I do too.
What the hell are you talking about that work?
Brilliant. We're all saps. I've got one now.
Do it. Yes. It's in.
I just replaced it. I write the date on
I
it.
do too.
Pour it down the drain and
I
make
do
that
too.
smell good. It never works.
Baking
Biggest
soda.
con job in marketing.
That and orange juice is part of a healthy breakfast.
Right.
Those are
Yeah,
the
that's
two.
true. Now, that's the worst.
That's it. My baking soda, we put it right in the back corner, but sometimes when I'm trying to fit something in, it won't. It's like, what the hell? Oh,
What's in the
damn-
way?
Oh, it's the damn
I can't throw that out. That's our savior in the refrigerator.
I threw
All right,
it
let's
out.
just put the pizza on a plate and wrap it in saran wrap. I just want to put the whole box in.
I threw it out once. My wife got so mad. Where's the baking soda? I threw it out.
It's never on duty. It's never not on duty.
That's right.
It's always there for
right.
you. You want it on that wall.
You want it. It's never not working.
On that shelf.
That's right. I had, this morning, I cleaned out the Diet Coke last night. I said, I'm going to drink all these. There were 2 left. I drank them.
It was strategic.
Yes. I said, I don't want it more in my house.
Strategery.
Trying not to have it. And then today, I went to see, is there anything in here that I can have? I was going to get an energy drink, which I did. And then I saw that Coca-Cola back there. Ding! And I said,
light.
Classic red and white.
classic red. And I said,
If that's not Americana, I don't know what is.
I took
It
it,
is.
put it in my attache, put it in the car, and then I said, I'm not going to give Christine the satisfaction of seeing me break down like this. So I cracked it in the car, and I was looking at my phone at a stoplight, and my hand was shaking. I thought I'm going to call my accountability buddy to stop me from doing this.
DTs.
Straight to voicemail.
Yeah, he's in REM sleep when you. That's the deepest.
Oh, yeah.
So I just chugged it. I mean, it was good.
Really?
Oh, yeah, it was. It went down smooth.
I love
Was it
Coke.
glorious?
Yeah. It's been a long time since I've had one. Do you think that's how a guy who beat heroin 15 years ago then goes back to? Do you think it's really good that first time?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's the best one.
Coke.
You'll never get higher.
Or cocaine or whatever it might be that you had many years ago and you go back to it. You're like,
It's your old friend.
that's what I miss. Cigarettes too, I bet.
Yeah, probably. Got to quit first.
One of the comedians we just had at our 2 Guys Named Chris Comedy All-Star show said that he quit smoking for, I think it was 15 years, and then went back to it and started smoking again for another 6 years. He was going through a divorce, so it was a stressful time, so he went back to smoking and he said, picked it right back up. Didn't have any problem. And the first one, he said, was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. Now I can feel that.
Now you know.
Now I know. Here's Biggie's relationship with me. Okay, we had some static issues an hour ago.
Right on.
We're working on it.
We're working on it. And Biggie was in touch with our engineer, which was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
I mean, he said, look, we got some static issues here on the flagship, and people were telling us about it. So you don't notice if you're listening on one of the other stations or online or whatever, but here we're getting a lot of people saying, hey, it's staticky. And we can't hear that. We're not listening to that. So Biggie's on with our engineer an hour ago. Well, every 10 or 15 minutes, the engineer texts or calls Biggie with an update. Well, we're doing this at the tower. We've done this. We're Gary's going out to this place. STL.
Where are the jumper cables?
All of that. Right. So I see Biggie. He's juggling 1,000 things in there. So 10 minutes ago, I say to Biggie, Don't worry about any updates. We're just going to sit here and do what we always do. Let them fix it around us. Don't worry. Don't let it take you out of your element. You know, that's what I said to Biggie. He's like, I see you in there working. You don't need all. We don't need it. Just, tell us when it's fixed. Well, we're not going to change a thing, right?
No, you do what you do.
We are powerless.
We are powerless. So Biggie says, okay. So during the commercial break, Chris Demm says, why don't you listen to the air signal just to see if it still sounds staticky? Flip over to the air signal. Nothing. I mean, not a peep, not a hiss, nothing.
Well, it's a
Hello, darkness, my
clear
old
signal.
friend.
I mean, clear as a bell. Nothing.
You want static back?
So I go to Biggie. I said, you better alert somebody to this. We have nothing on the air. So I see Biggie make the call, and then he hangs up, and he just sits, and he doesn't say anything. And I go back to it still. No, can't hear a thing. So I say to Biggie, what's the deal? And Biggie says,
You didn't want any updates.
oh. Now, are you being a good accountability buddy to me today so far? I don't know. I question your accountability buddiness today. Just today, I'm questioning that. I hate to say it, but I am. Uh-huh. It turns out we can't hear it, but everybody else can.
That's what they tell you.
Again,
that's how they
we
keep
are
you
powerless.
going. You see.
We are powerless. That's exactly right. I'll tell you this, talk about problems in the workplace. There is a restaurant that is reopening today for the first time. The manager was talking about this. This is in Eugene, Oregon. They're back in business. They were shuttered for 3 months due to fire.
That's the home of the university, right?
That's
Eugene?
right. Yes, it's a university town. It's Eugene, Oregon, the Ducks, home of the Ducks. The fire was caused when freshly washed towels spontaneously combusted and set part of the kitchen on fire. They had towels in there, for their washing.
What's going on?
The laundry brought them
What
in.
did it get into contact with?
Combination of grease and detergent sparked a chemical reaction in the towels, and they spontaneously combusted. This is the owner of the restaurant who says, wildest thing he's ever seen, they burned up half the kitchen.
It took us till now to open because it was a big ordeal. We had to repaint the whole place. We had to throw away a lot of stuff that couldn't be replaced. We put new tile up on this backsplash here because it got burnt. And then the biggest thing was that our heating and air unit was so damaged from the smoke.
Well, they did the investigation and said this was a spontaneous combustion of the towels because of the cleanser and the grease. But wouldn't you think that would happen more often at a restaurant?
It would.
Yeah.
I would think so. The towels, they're being sent out to be cleaned.
Yes,
evidently.
that's right.
So I wonder if they're dry cleaned or what they're used on that. I've never heard of that. I didn't know detergent could be flammable with mixing anything.
But I'll tell you, when I was at camp, when I was in the 5th grade, sleepaway, down Camp Caraway, you know it.
Yeah.
They did a thing, fire safety, and showed us spontaneous combustion. And
How?
Well,
Somebody spark a joint.
Engelbert had gas.
no.
You kids go off and try to rub some sticks together. Let us know if you get any sparks.
We're going to step here and get high and have
got the rolling papers?
sex.
They showed us.
condoms? Who's got the malt liquor?
19,
big mouth. Oh, my God.
19-year-old camp counselors.
No, they showed us this.
And there's always one with long blonde hair.
No, they.
She's beautiful.
And Adonis.
Yes.
The fire chief was out there, and he took some rags, and he's like, let's say you're doing some cleaning, and you put this together and that together.
And then I can pile of rags to the naked eye. The 30-year-old reference.
That's a good one, though.
the fire marshal.
That's really good. That's Fire Marshal Bill. And yes, Fire Marshal Bill was there. And he said, let's say you're doing some cleaning for Mom and Dad. And he rubbed the...
Uh-oh, I spelled Drano.
And he rubbed it all together, and he put it... He's like, hey, throw it in the trash can. And then he went on to other stuff. Well, about a minute later, it just burst.
And what did he put on it?
He didn't say. It was a couple of chemicals, that he rubbed together. He's like, you're doing this and that. And then he just threw it away. And he's like, that's called spontaneous combustion. Mm-hmm. You throw it away, you think it's done. And I'll never forget this now. Dean Bailey's picture was in the paper because somebody, do you remember my friend Dean Bailey?
Vaguely.
Yes. Good guy. Quarterback the football team some years later.
Okay.
Anyhow, he was sitting in the group, and his eyes got so big. The fire went up right near him, and his eyes were huge, and his mouth was agape. And
that's when they shot the
picture. So all of us were around the fire, but Dean was like, You know, he had that look on his face. And they said, the caption was, "Local boy's mouth agape." Wow. That was Dean Bailey. That was my friend.
Yeah.
And
Parlor tricks amuse campers.
but it did happen, and it was.
Well, there's nothing you can do about that if he didn't tell you what was in the rags.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of, if he didn't tell you that this is what this is.
He may have told us. I don't. It's been so. I mean, we were in like 5th grade. You know?
You don't pay attention to that
I
kind
guess
of stuff.
so. Yeah.
I should have known. I should. But that when it spontaneously combusted, it was like, wow. I mean, I didn't know that could happen. You know.
You'd think with these rags or these towels, I guess when they're sent out, they come back all nice and folded.
Yes.
That other restaurants in town would use it, or wherever this is, and
Yes.
and it would. You have to shut down the.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you have to shut down the dry cleaner or the launderer?
Figured out. Do more different solution to clean them in. You'd
Got
think.
to.
But I pictured it as, you know, then they're cleaning and the grease gets on it, and that's when one catches on fire.
But there's something about
No,
the
it's not in the guy's
you
hand.
don't think it's in his hand when he
I
leaves it behind. Like he
I
cleans
can't
up
imagine.
grease.
I can't visualize how this would have happened. I mean, I know that sometimes when you pull towels out of the dryer, they're staticky.
But not to that
I
extent.
mean, that would be your spark, but
Yeah.
then you've got to have fuel.
Yeah, I don't know.
And how do they not catch on fire? See, there's something about the grease.
That's what it says. It's a combination.
Because
Is it just in the air or on
chemicals
the
in
towel that didn't get cleaned
you
out
have
of
to
the
dry the
towels?
towels. If it was just heat, it would have gotten in the dryer.
At
Would
the
have
place.
caught.
Yeah. Buddy, you're talking about fire now. Go ahead.
Hey, good morning, all.
Morning.
I do furniture repair and restoration, and in my shop one day I'm working, and I use real fine steel wool. It comes on a big roll, and I have it hanging on the wall, and I look over, and it's just slowly burning.
Just from nowhere, it all of a sudden starts burning.
Yeah, just from nowhere. Yeah, I've been using it for 20 years, and just one time.
Unbelievable.
Did you have to put it out with a fire extinguisher? Or what do you do?
I kind of unraveled it some and just stomped on it. But,
Oh,
I mean,
really?
it real slow, like a fuse or something, just real slow and just kind of sizzling through the roll. It was the weirdest thing. But it does have an oil on it to keep it from rusting, so.
It's lucky.
And you've got all kinds of chemicals, I would imagine, in your shop.
Yeah, luckily not close by there, but yes.
Yeah.
Well, you're lucky you were there, or it could have burned down.
Yeah.
Thank you, buddy. Very interesting.
Yeah.
I since that day in the 5th grade, I have been interested in spontaneous combustion. That and that movie.
Spinal Tap.
Yeah.
With the drummers.
He's
Of course,
spontaneous.
it'll pique anyone's curiosity.
Yeah, the drummer spontaneously combusted.
More than one, I believe.
Yeah.
Several of them actually had spontaneously combusted.
Well, it's good both those things stuck with you, Kelly.
They did, totally. There's another health update today. I wanted to share this with my accountability buddy.
Let's do it.
It's about getting into great shape.
Oh, good.
You're familiar with, and this tests your theory, Biggie, about should you or should you not get into great shape? Will it make your health worse? You know Bob Odenkirk. He had a heart attack. He's Better Call Saul. He was in Breaking Bad, that actor. He had a heart attack on the set of Better Call Saul in July, and now he's giving interviews about what happened. He said...
I think the new series is coming back.
That's right. He's promoting. And he was on the set filming when he had a heart attack.
Season, excuse me.
He said that what saved his life was immediate CPR. There was a health officer on the set who gave immediate CPR, and they had a defibrillator that they used 3 times on him while he was there on the set. And his doctor said, because you're in great shape, the veins around your heart were larger because you'd been working out so much. He had worked out for a movie he's doing, and he said, I was in the best shape of my life. And he said, because of that, we were able to pump your blood back to your heart faster, and it saved your life. But he had a lot of plaque in his veins.
Wow.
So Biggie's theory is if you work out too much, it causes the heart attack. You know, his theory is if you're a smoker and you stop smoking,
So
That's what causes the cancer.
causes the cancer, right?
So if I may, Biggie, and jump in at any time, Biggie hears this story about Bob Odenkirk collapsing on the set of a heart attack, has to be paddled 3 times. And Biggie's takeaway is if he hadn't gotten in such good shape for that other project, he would have never collapsed.
Would not have had the heart
In the
attack.
first place.
That's
In the
right.
first
100%.
That's correct.
And I know the movie. It's called Nobody.
That's right.
That he was training for.
Oh, yeah, he
because
got
he
beat up a
plays.
bunch.
That's right.
Yeah, he plays a real badass in that movie.
That's exactly right.
And if he had never taken that role,
He wouldn't have
Never
had the
would've
heart. Wouldn't have had the heart attack. But his doctor said, it's lucky you were in great shape. Now, he had plaque in his arteries and his, from beforehand. But then he got in great shape, which made his veins and arteries slightly more open which got the blood back to his heart. Now, they had to do a surgery to remove the built-up plaque, and now he's okay. And so he says to everyone, his message is, 1, take a CPR class. 2, get in great shape. Biggie's message is, don't
stretch as an actor.
Stay in your comfort zone.
That's right.
Be what you are.
Stay in your lane. You are what you is.
That's right. That's always been.
See, this is not quite along the same lines, but as you know, if you follow Major League Baseball, the owners have locked out the players. There's no spring training. And I think there's negotiations. They went late into the night. So the season has not been canceled by any means, but spring training has certainly been impacted. So I sent a message to our friend, all-star big leaguer Whit Merrifield.
Yeah.
That's my friend.
Your friend.
Well,
right? You communicate with him?
Yeah, well, no.
And I just basically said, how are you doing, mental-wise, physically-wise? He said, it's hard. Yeah. He said, we're trying to fix a system that is kind of badly damaged.
Well,
And then he said, the not knowing is the hardest part. He said, and we can all relate to this. How do you know when to ramp up your training?
So true. Biggie and I live this on a daily basis.
You two
When
can
do you
relate.
ramp up?
It's all about timing.
It's when do you ramp up?
You don't want to do it too soon, but you don't want to wait too long.
Biggie's been waiting years.
He doesn't know when spring training's going to start. He doesn't know how many games they're going to play.
Bingo.
When do you ramp up your training? God, I so relate to Whit Merrifield.
Yeah.
He and I, or maybe he should be my accountability buddy.
Maybe.
Yeah, he's got time.
Should I text him and
I
say,
think he's blocked you.
Will?
Well, he's not training.
Well, I told him to.
Oh, he's training.
Well, not spring training, though.
He's kind of training. We don't know. Is he
I told him to block you. I said, Chris Demm, he's not going to bother you that much. He's fine. You should block Kelly.
I so like Whit Merrifield, second baseman for the Kansas City Royals and friend to this program.
Yeah.
That's right.
He is.
That's I'm following that very closely because I'm the last person that cares about baseball. I mean, I really care about
You and the
baseball.
Diesel?
Diesel and I and Biggie. We're baseball fans. And I want that season started. I did hear they locked in last night for a long, and they're going today too to really try to get that. But they're still far apart. The player, you know how that is. I mean, I watched High Heat yesterday.
Is that right?
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, the Mad Dog was all over it yesterday, talking about this stuff. Here's the apology. This happened last week. Talked about it. Remember, I told you about the teenager, a 19-year-old, who suffered a rare complication from he had eaten Chinese food.
Leftovers?
Leftovers. He and his friend threw up 2 or 3 times, but he got a problem where he had like a flesh-eating disease from it. He had to remove both legs, some fingers. I saw his picture on the news that night.
The news?
Inside Edition. And like they had his shirt off, and they only showed his torso, but it was covered with terrible sores, and they showed his feet.
I've not seen any of these photos.
Oh, my God. It was absolutely it was awful. And Chris Demm had said, I don't know foodborne illnesses very well, but I can't imagine leftovers doing something like that to somebody. And as usual, Chris Demm was right.
Oh, no.
That story was a lie. It was misrepresented. Now, the 19-year-old did have the condition, but it was because of a severe complication from a blood infection with a bacteria causing a disease, it's like meningitis type of thing.
Oh, in the meningitis family.
And he was written up in the New England Journal of Medicine, and some prankster, some scallywag, passed it off as being Chinese food, and the
Blamed
media
it on the lo mein.
and the media ran with it. And who suffers? Chinese food.
Chinese food suffering.
Chinese restaurants.
Have you had any lately?
No. After this? Are you kidding? No, I picked it up for my wife.